So what we want to do today is we want to just provide an overview of eXp Australia. I just want to talk a little bit about 3 questions before we get started. Why did you, or why are you considering getting into real estate? What was the dream? For a lot of us, we thought this would be great 2 weeks and then you'd be driving a brand new BMW and you'll just be living in the lap of luxury. And sometimes it goes that way and sometimes not. Always interesting to find out what is the motivator for people. 2, what if we showed you a different, possibly more lucrative way to do real estate as a career? Would you keep an open mind? And the last question for those that have been in real estate for a while, hey, do you have a clear exit strategy? How to get out of the day-to-day selling of real estate? And so it provides a platform for everybody at all different levels. So we'll cover those bits and pieces today. And who is eXp? Well, eXp is a global cloud-based real estate company with personal development technology businesses associated with it. We currently operate in 24 countries, and we have over 88,000 sales agents globally. We're publicly traded on the NASDAQ. And if you just type into a Google search, EXPI, that will give you where we are currently standing at in the world of share prices. So the NASDAQ, for those that don't know, is the same place that companies like Apple, Microsoft, Netflix, Meta, PayPal, and Amazon are traded. So we're in the technology space as well as the real estate space. We, in addition to several companies, also own what used to be called Success Magazine. And I believe it's now just called success.com, which is a personal development company. And for those of you that are in the know, they house all of the Jim Rohn content and places and people like that. And there we go. So a little bit about us. So there are traditional real estate models. You might drive past a real estate office and they've got a nice flash window and they've got some shiny window cards, or they might have wonderful technology with flipping carousels of properties and whatnot. So traditional brick and mortar real estate companies around the world are kind of shaped like this. They have lots of costs. There's office leases and office equipment, managers, office staff, there's recruiters or HR kinds of people. There's local office fees, regional fees, country fees, global fees. It really depends on the brand that you're associated with, but there's a lot of fees along the way. What happens is the agent is out there working hard, they're prospecting, they're building their business, they're out there making clients and making connections and whatnot. And then when those things get processed, when those commissions get processed out, all of these different entities take a little chunk along the way. But that's where eXp is slightly different. So at eXp, we just wanted to take a red texter to a whole bunch of stuff. We went no global fees, no country fees, no regional fees. Let's just wipe all that stuff. And so that begs the question, well, what happens to the money that they save? Well, it goes back to the agents in 3 separate ways. There's 3 separate funnels, and I like to think of it in the mindset of abundance versus scarcity, if that makes sense. So in a lot of businesses, traditional businesses, whether or not just real estate, but traditional businesses, there are so many expenses and the money just, it only goes so far. So in that, here are 3 funnels. We have income from sales and referrals. That's the way some of the money is redistributed to us. We have equity within the company, and we'll talk a bit more about that. We have revenue share, we call it rev share, where we can share the story of eXp with others and get a little thank you gift from the company. How did it all get started? Well, Glenn Sanford, pictured here on the right, he had important roles before launching into real estate. He was in tech, he was a stockbroker at some point, and he was building websites. So he got into real estate because he was building a website for a real estate company, and they liked him, and they kept him on. They kept saying to him, "We want you to get into real estate." He goes, "Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy. I'm building websites. Don't mess with me. I'm in my zone." And eventually that real estate company actually paid him to go and get his real estate license. So in his 4th year in real estate with a national franchise, his team closed more than 60 million in real estate by connecting consumers online. So Glenn founded eXp. And he was an agent from the ground up, and then he started growing from there. He believed that agents and brokers or business owners are doing the heavy lifting in real estate and deserve the benefits of being a shareholder and get an income based on the level of their contribution. So in 2009, Glenn founded the first cloud-based real estate company, eXp Realty. And if you remember back in time to 2008, 2009, the global financial crisis was happening and people were going to the wall. And Glenn was not going to the wall, but he was in that pain point where he had brick and mortar offices. And he's like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way to harness technology than paying for all these things. And in doing that, not taking away from what agents can earn. Innovation is always happening. eXp Realty is innovating in the real estate space by empowering agents to do business when and where they want to at the touch of a button. And we're seeing that in all industries. But if you remember not too long ago, there was Blockbuster stores everywhere. And I'm really dating myself because I can remember going to Blockbuster, standing in line, getting lollies, chips and drinks, and then you'd get to the front and the movie wasn't available, and then there'd be tears and all those things. So, but Blockbuster went by the wayside because, quite simply, Netflix came along. And Netflix was digital, it was ever present, and it was accessible with technology. So, the brick and mortar video store. I don't know where you live, but, when you go around, there's not too many video stores open anymore. And that's what's happening in the retail space. Toys R Us, used to take your kids into Toys R Us, and they'd make a big scramble. I want this toy, I want the Legos, I want this, I want that. And now we can save the hassle and just click on Amazon, and it gets delivered pretty soon in a drone. That's definitely impacted retail. Traditional real estate companies are having the same thing happen to them. They're being replaced by cloud-based companies because we live in 2023, not 1903. And cloud bases are the things like, not many people go to a lot of businesses anymore. Let's take a look at the speed of growth. Most of you will be familiar with the Hilton hotel chain. They took 99 years to get valued at $18 billion. Airbnb, in existence for 10 years, was worth $31 billion. So just showing you what technology is doing. And Airbnb have how many hotels now? None. They have 0 hotels. So technology has replaced all that need for brick and mortar in so many cases. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a look at our cloud campus. So I just want to highlight here that with eXp, there's no desk fees, no franchise fees, royalty-free fees. People can work from anywhere, basically anywhere if you've got the internet. We can work from anywhere. We cut the overhead brick and mortar costs, no expensive leases, and that means that the company can invest in agent support and technology. Mostly paperless transactions via DocuSign and similar platforms. And you can get instant access to training in just like that. As we move forward, we like to say, well, where is the office? The office is wherever you are. So each state has a registered place of business, but we do business wherever our agents are and wherever their clients are. So we have an eXp World virtual business campus, which is actually really cool. It's really cool. It's like a video game, but it's like for business. And if you want, you can just take a screenshot of these QR codes right here. Yeah, and you can just log in there and you can see a video, YouTube, and watch how we use Workplace by Facebook or Meta. And this allows us instant messaging, calling, and video conferencing at any of the 88,000 agents globally. As long as you've got Wi-Fi access, internet access, you can get in with your colleagues for collaboration, questions, and connections. Your home office, your client's property, or any place that you want to be. It doesn't matter. And again, I'll say it'll come up a little bit about our tech support. That's in eXp World. I had a problem yesterday and couldn't even get into my emails. I just jumped into eXp World, which you can see pictured here at the bottom. This little cartoon virtual world looking thing. It's really cool. I went into IT support. I literally walked in, took a ticket like I was getting Macca's, and within moments I was sitting down at a table with a guy named Anthony. He was in Illinois, USA, and he said, Tony, we've got the same name, technically, kind of. How can I help? I said, well, I just got an issue with my emails. He goes, great. Logged into the back end and fixed it. Easy. So the tech support is pretty amazing. In my old place where I used to work, it could be days before you could actually get a tech person to look at your computer. So, yeah, I love this. This is quick, easy, simple. There's always somebody there. And with us, the tech support is all included in our monthly subscription. Some of our basic tools that we're using are AgentBox CRM and CoreLogic. If you're familiar with an old style brick and mortar real estate office, there were filing cabinets and there were often folders within those filing cabinets, and every listing went in there. That whole thing has been digitized and is now in AgentBox. You're probably already across that anyway, but yeah, it makes the whole process of listing and even appraising and selling just makes it a little bit simple. It's all in one place. Yeah, no, I love it. Once you get on board and you in it, easy. So let's talk training. Lots of times agents say when I'm talking to them about their career and where they are at the moment, they're concerned that they're not getting enough training. They're not up to speed, or maybe they have to pay for a lot of training. So getting up to scratch with what's happening at eXp is as simple as clicking a button. It could be lead generation, it could be prospecting, it could be doing all kinds of things. There are more than 50 hours of live training each week at eXp Realty. I absolutely recommend doing 2 training sessions a week or even more. The training you get here is incredible, and by diving in deep with training, you will walk away each day with skills that you didn't know you needed, and when implemented, you will simply become more as a real estate agent. And you access that through the Workplace app by Facebook. Plus, there's tons of live training here in Australia every week. And when you join, you'll join them through a messenger group, and the Zoom links will pop up every couple of days. And get on them, because that's your team, and they'll definitely support you. So we learn from industry experts about sales and listing, lead gen, social media, and all the bits and pieces that you need to have access to. It's there. It's there on your phone. It's there on your laptop or your iPad, whatever. You can just jump in, watch a training on it, and so you'll never be stuck for training with eXp, that's for sure. And this is just an example. So we have every other Tuesday at the moment some of our top performing agents within eXp across Australia, and they're taking 20, 30, 40 minutes of their time, and they're sharing knowledge about a particular topic, and these are all recorded. So if you can't make it, you've got a listing appointment or you've got a building inspection or whatever you've got to attend to, these are recorded, and you can pop back in and watch the recording at a later time. And they're sharing from the heart. This isn't some kind of, formal training. Is a little bit, but what you're listening to is agents who have been on the beat, they're burning the leather, and they're coming back and they're saying, here's what works for me, here's what doesn't work for me, and sharing new ideas. It's great. It's really collaborative, and it's just like hanging out with a bunch of cool guys and girls with great ideas, and they're willing to share. And speaking of that, I know a lot of people in a lot of businesses, and they feel like all the top agents are holding all the gold. They don't want to share what they're doing. However, these guys they lay it out. They go, yeah, this is what I do, step 1, step 2, step 3, and it's a very different environment to be collaborating with income from multiple streams. And remember, everyone who's in eXp and on your team, they're all business owners as well. So they're all running a business, and they all want to work together with you. And that's a totally different dynamic to working in an agency. In an agency, you're employees of an agency, whereas here you're the boss. So you get to come up with the ideas and implement them the way and the strategies in which you want to do them. And you're around a bunch of people that do exactly the same thing. They're shooting for the stars, and if you want to be around good company and want to be successful, you first thing you do is you surround yourself with superstars, and that's what you got here at eXp. So there are sales and referrals, as we were talking about before, but there's equity. I don't spend a lot of time on this, but every single agent that has sold a property with eXp becomes a shareholder or a stockholder with eXp. And in that way, they continue to have a voice no matter what. We hold a shareholders meeting every spring, the US spring, which you are more than welcome to attend. Or you can attend virtually like I've done before. And look, it's a real company. It's a real... there's stock that happens, there's decisions that have to be made, There's a board, there's CEOs, and all those kinds of things, and you have a say in that when you're with eXp. There are many ways that information or that stock comes to you. Here's a couple of them. So there are equity opportunities. You get stock when you sell your first property each year. You get 300 Australian dollars worth of that. If you happen to sponsor an agent, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, you'll get some stock when they do their first transaction each year. You might decide that you want to go for it, and you might want to be an Icon agent. And Icon is our top level at eXp, and it basically means that they're doing very well, and then they've continued on selling. So they're selling at a high level, and for that the company says thank you by giving them shares and ownership within the company. Up to $21,000 worth of shares each year is available to agents that qualify to be an Icon agent. Additionally, you can sign up to get eXp stock at a discount. You can nominate to have 5% of your commissions as they settle, go and purchase eXp stock at a 10% discount. So that's another way you can have equity within the company. I know some of you would have experiences where you would have been at other real estate companies where they would never give you equity. They would never even think about giving you a piece of the pie. But at eXp, we're agent owned and agent grown, and well, that's a completely different flavor. I'll just share with you quickly about this. If you're familiar with affiliate marketing, network marketing, or any of those kinds of things, this will look familiar to you, although it's completely different. And what it is every time, the way we grow our company by word of mouth, and it's having conversations like this. Whereas, we had on a slide earlier that some companies will have formal recruiters. Here we have agents talking to agents about partnering with eXp. And for that, the company has a thank you program, basically. And that looks a little bit like this. So if you can unlock different levels, the thank yous go down 7 layers. And for each agent, you might introduce to eXp and their work in their listing, their selling properties and whatnot, our commission split goes 75-25 up until an agent has settled $100,000 excluding GST. Then it goes to 100%, as in you keep 100% of your commissions. But that $25,000, that goes to the company each year from the agent, and half of that goes into this program, which I like to think is just the thank you program at eXp. And it's a way to add additional income to yourself and to your family. There are videos available where we go in depth on this, but this is just giving you an overview that for each agent you introduce, there's a little bit of money that comes your way. And here are some examples. If you, over a little period of time, had introduced 10 people and they were all working, you might get an extra $35,000 a year. That's the people that you personally introduced. If each of those people had gone and introduced 10 people, that would be on your tier 2, and they would be getting $4,000 each, which would give you a yearly income of $435,000. Just as a thank you for helping grow eXp. And I don't know about you, but I know if I said to any agent, hey Jenny, if I gave you an extra $435,000 as a thank you gift this year, would that cause you a problem? And we all know that would be, no probs, shoot it through my way, I'll take that money. But anyway, so just wanted to give you a little touch point on that, a little flavor of that. That's your potential with eXp in addition to listing and selling houses. As we come through with the sales and referral scenario, we'll talk a little bit about the actual setup. So our business model is there are no desk fees, no royalty fees, no franchise fees. The commission is, as I mentioned before, a 75-25 commission split up to $100,000 of settled commission. There's a $25,000 cap. So just to clarify, this is foreign in Australia. The idea of capping is foreign, and all it means, it's an American thing, and it basically just means that the company puts a cap on how much commission they take from their agents each year. So the maximum they will take as far as a commission will be $25,000. Whereas if you were working on another brand and you might be on a 50-50 split, or a 60-40 split, whatever the agency, they'll just keep taking. It doesn't matter how much you produce, they just keep taking. And so, yeah, after that, you earn 100% of commission until the remainder of your anniversary year, which is the date you started, and then to 12 months later. So that is how that works. So the standard cost, this is where people like to ask a few questions. The standard costs are $218.90, but I usually just round it off to $220 as a startup fee, and then it's $220 as a monthly subscription. And that's payable, it just comes out. And then each time you sell a property, when the property settles, you'll be charged $275 per sale, an admin fee. But the truth is the vendor pays that and the conveyancer sorts that out. So that actually goes to support the staff in the back, because it's not just me, or there's a whole team there. So they'll be sending bits and pieces through to your conveyancers and all those kinds of things. And I'll be honest, I lean on admin a lot, simply because they're doing it every day, they know what they're doing, and they're just absolute superstars. So our admin team is fantastic. That includes what we would call a broker review fee or a license review fee. So there's always someone there to support you and look over your contracts, your listings, and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, that's $275, including GST, on every contract. And one of the great things about eXp is that we believe in our offering so much that there's a no lock-in contract. Love that. This is the thing. This thing about eXp, it's beautiful. So if you went to start a franchise real estate office, or you went, there's a lock-in thing, you're now committed to that company for 3, 5, or 7 years. So here at eXp, if you join eXp and you don't like it, and you think that's not for me, you just give us notice. Officially, it's a 30-day notice. I don't know if we've ever kept anyone to the full 30 days, but it's officially a 30-day notice. And you simply give notice and take your listings, and you take your database with you. Key difference to a lot of places. You own your database. So all those relationships that you were fostering, that you were pumping into the agent box system, they belong to you. They don't belong to eXp. eXp doesn't market to those people. I used to be at a real estate company where it was very common for agents to leave, and then the existing agents would get access to those client lists and receive emails from them. And people are going, why am I getting emails from this bloke? Well, that doesn't happen at eXp, so you control your database. So yeah, this is just a little screen here to give you an example of the different types of commission splits and what it would look like at eXp versus some other models. So there's pretty much no other cap models in Australia, but we just look at the $200,000 level. On an annual basis, if someone wrote 200,000 GCI, they would keep 175. If you're on a 50-50 split, you'd keep 100. If you were with another brokerage or another company, you keep 100. If you're on a 60-40 split, which is kind of common, you'd keep 120. Even if you're in one of those great scenarios where it's an 80-20 split, you would keep 160, but what I'd like you to do is you can just track across that line where it says 200 on the left, keep going all the way across, go to the 80-20 split. That 80-20 split would mean that you paid $40,000 to work. If you were writing 500,000 or 750,000, whatever, even at that high end of the 80-20 split, you would still be paying $150,000 to go to work at the office. Is a desk, a chair, and a phone, some lights, a kitchen where you can heat up your food and coffee, is it worth 150 grand? I don't know. I'm just feeling like maybe it isn't. So maybe they should put that in their advertisements. Hey, come work with us and you'll pay us $175,000 or $150,000 to go to work. Not what I would be doing. But I know I'd rather put that to work in my own family, honestly, as we move forward. So what about property management? A lot of times people say, hey, Tony, does eXp do property management? Well, eXp agents have the maximum freedom when it comes to the property management options. Independent contractors, so people with their full licenses, their own business, they can have their own PM company, property management company, or they can work under their own brand with that and do their own bits and pieces. Or agents can refer to their preferred local provider. That might be like in my area, there's a real estate company and they don't do any sales. They only do property management. Sometimes we refer to them. Sometimes they refer to us. Or you can see, you can partner with property management providers like Lulu Live or Leafield. They're not in every state. That's why I've listed a couple there, but they're different options. And both of those options give you an opportunity to build a rent roll and grow it, and they manage it. And if you want to sell it, they'll buy it from you. You give them the opportunity to buy it. But if you want to sell it and they're not in a position to buy it, you can sell it to someone else. So that's pretty good. Going forward, here are just some tools that you get. You get your basic web portal subscriptions, check in your local state. I know in other states there are different subscriptions, but at a bare minimum, you'll have the basic portal subscriptions to things like realestate.com.au, domain.com.au, those kinds of things. You get access to AgentBox CRM, which is brilliant. I love it. You have CoreLogic access. You'll get the software, workplace, and workplace chat. You get HomePass as well. HomePass is, when you're doing opens, you put all the details in. It's just so good. So there's a lot of communication that happens in workplace chat as well. So you can think of that like Messenger, which is it's pretty simple to use. So that's what's happening in that. You'll get free access to the eXp World software. You'll get tech support, as I was mentioning. Your licensee in every state has a licensing that will guide you, be there to answer your questions through any challenges you might have. So you can call them up and go, hi, I've got this deal. I'm not sure about that. What do you think I should do? What do you think they should do? Whichever. Sometimes we have to go and look for the answer, but we're always there to try and help and support. So we do the sales trust accounting for you as well as the invoice payment. We use a platform called Secure Exchange, which is an encrypted information exchange where you can send documentation through that, but you can also send trust account details on that as well. And it just really ensures that you don't have any issues along the way. It really does protect that important information. And again, just to mention that we have 50 plus hours of weekly training. I did hear Glenn Sanford say it's actually up to 80 hours of training now because, as we grow, there's more training that happens in all the different countries as well. So, I don't have 80 hours each week to sit and watch all the training. So I'll take his word for it that there's 80 hours. And again, just a recap on the fees that are there. As we move forward, the question might be, how can I join? Well, commission-only agents can join, subject to the Australian Real Estate Award criteria, if you have your full license, and that's called different things in different states. So depending on what state you're in, we can double-check for you. So you can, if you have your full license, you can work under the eXp Australia banner or eXp Realty banner. Or you can keep your own brand and be powered by eXp. So I'm in South Australia. We have several people that do that, and we have several people that have their full license and just work under the eXp brand because they're happy with that. And there are also options for teams at some level. Not as many as if you do a research online. You'll see a lot of different team options in the US maybe, that they're just not possible here because of the way that our regulators work here. They're a little bit different than they are in the States. One of the questions that I like to ask people when I've gone through information like this is just be thinking in your mind, what did I like best about what I saw? For some people, it's the freedom to work and go wherever they want. That, for me, that's the reason why. For me, it's about freedom. For some people, it's the better commission split than most people are offering, or the cap commission split. Some people are interested in growing a team, and so they're interested in the revenue share. Some like the idea that they can be an owner within the company, that they can actually get real stock. It's not fantasy. There's actually real stock that you get assigned. So that's that. You log in, you can see how that's going. So just be thinking in your mind, what did you like best about what you saw? And the other is change your logo, change your life. It really is that simple. I love that one. Change your logo and change your life. Because that's what it did for me. I changed my logo. And here I am today. So, and with the opportunity for you to keep your brand, if you do have your full license and you just be adding powered by eXp as a little logo, it will take all the heavy lifting off the trust accounting and all the not so fun stuff off your plate. And you can just go out and have coffee with people and sign up real estate deals. So that's the opportunity for you as well. So there we go. Just send me an email, tony.lawson@expaustralia.com.au. You can get me on at Tony Lawson eXp Realty on Facebook, Insta, TikTok, or you can just click at freedomtochoose.com.au, which is probably where you're watching this, or maybe the Facebook page, whichever. Just shoot me a message. We've got this on PDF as well, so we can just go that way. And if you've liked what you've seen and you'd like to take the next step, I encourage you to get in touch, and I can help you, go in the right direction. Again, scan the QR code if that's where you are, but then you can just take it from there. We're a little bit different to traditional brick and mortar offices. We think the more. There's abundance in every turn with eXp. There's not scarcity. There's not limited areas. We live in a world of abundance, and we invite other people to come and play in that world too. We invite you just to take the next step if it suits you. And I always say to people, it might not be for you, but it probably is. So with that, guys, thank you. And I look forward to speaking with you soon.